So let us start with our demo sessions. Okay. So when you talk about Dynamics 365, so this is an ERP product, and if you know what is ERP is nothing but Enterprise Resource Planning. So when we say that we are working in ERP, so what do we mean? So we mean that we are working in an integrated solution which connects all the dots of the business. So let's take an example, simple example, what we can just take. So one of the big projects what we have worked on, so that is Eicher Motors. Right? So I give this example because their business is so complex and they have such a large variety of different sections of the business. So to implement that system, itself is a huge task, right? So let us go and discuss on that. So Eicher Motors, if you don't know about Eicher Motors, it is nothing but the company who produces Royal Enfield motorbikes. So I hope everyone has seen Royal Enfield motorbikes over the road, right? And that has a huge demand and is a huge fan following over the years. And they also make the big, large trucks, right? Or large, what we call as trailers over. So those are like containers that goes around from state to state, shipping items from one place to another. So that is their most I mean, they have other few businesses also, but that is their most focused area, right? They are focusing on producing bikes and also the trailers. Now, if you consider a company like Aisha Motors, and what can you think of? Like you see only motorbikes over the road, and you see there is a showroom of bikes, and you will get there and you will do some down payment. You can take some loan, and you can just buy the bike, and it will be delivered to you, right? And you have to pay some money of that. Now, that is a part that we are seeing as a customer, but over the back end there are so many different things are there, so you can easily understand that they should have something called as manufacturing facility, right, where they are actually producing that bike. So and to produce that they need some different items and everything, right? So we'll talk about that later, but just think from a layman perspective. So when you are just going to that showroom, you are just buying them. So what are that showroom is about? Is that the Royal Enfield itself is managing that, or is there company people is just sitting all over India, all over different showrooms across the localization, and they are selling it? The answer is no. What is that? That is what we call as dealership model. So if you just buy cars also, the same thing happens. That's we have a dealership concept. So Royal Enfield produces the bike, and they get the demand from the dealers. Based on that, they produce and they sell it to the dealers. And dealers, after getting the bike, they have a percentage of commission over that. They maybe have a maybe 15%, 20% price they are charging, and then they are selling it to you as a end customer, right? So that is one part of the business that we are seeing. Now, when I say this, that we are seeing, what we are not seeing is the demand, what is being generated. So for getting those demand, the dealers and they have a good sales network, right? They are also getting the demands from different places, different customers, different companies, right? So they need to have a sales team, marketing team behind it. They have a dealership team behind it, and then the actual company Eicher Motors comes in, and they need to have a manufacturing facility, right? And once they have that, then they should be first creating a factory, right? What we call as a manufacturing factory, means factory. Once they have set up that, they should have a what we call as product design team, right? Or what we call as a product lifecycle management team. Because the bikes or the trailers what they are coming up with, they generally, when they come up with new models, they generally do some changes, they maintain the product and those things, different things, right? So there should be a product designing team, and also when they design the product, they know what are the components that needs to be needed for making that bike, right? If we have a bike, so there are roughly around 8 to 10,000 different components are needed, right? From small to big, right? This is like the giving a rough estimate. So different components can be needed based on the size of the bike, but it can be a rough number, maybe 5 to 10,000 can be a broad range what we can give you. So if you can understand that making one piece of bike, if we need so many different components, so we need to have something called as inventory management. that okay, based on maybe I have a order of maybe 1 lakh units for next 3 months, so I should have a procurement team or purchasing team who should actually get those items for me, because just to produce them item, right? And then there should be a team who actually manages those inventory. So I have those like millions of worth of inventory, they should manage them and they should release them based on different orders. So maybe one production team needs maybe 1 lakh unit of some bricks or something, right? And they are providing them based on different orders. So what I'm where I'm going into it with all these talks and all these different, so I'm going to different modules of an ERP, right? So let me just write it down, I think that will be easier for you to understand. So when I talk about an company like maybe any manufacturing company, right? So manufacturing company, so this is a broad overview, and now we are going to the different sections of their business. So what do we have? First we understand there is a dealership model, and this is not for all manufacturing company, right? Because Aisha Motors is a B2C company. B2C means from business to customer, but there can be B2B company also, where they are producing something and selling it to a business, not to end customers, right? So they have a B2C company, so that is why they have a dealership model. So I'm just writing it for them, not for all manufacturing company. We have that dealership model. Okay, so we have the dealer management system, right? Then we have the sales and marketing, right? Then we can go and find out their manufacturing facility, and then we have their procurement team. Procurement means the purchasing team, who is actually procuring all the items, right? And they will have their inventory management team, and they will definitely have a team for planning and also their product design. And on top of that, from all these modules, they should be linked to all these modules should be linked to which module? They should be linked to their finance module, correct? Because after all, everything is related to my finance. So how much I am cost is being incurred, how much I am selling, all this data should go to the finance team at the end of the day, because we need to know how much we have spent and how much we are earning, right? So these all these modules, if you go and try to implement a system which has all the modules, it is very difficult. So what used to happen in the earlier days, so we could create small software for each of these modules. So maybe this manufacturing facility who are handling the production, they have a small software, and similarly for sales and marketing and dealer management system. But ERP is a concept which actually integrates all the modules and which have all these functionalities built in. So you can go and simply implement one system which takes care all these modules, right? You do not need to have all these different systems in place, and there are a lot of different advantages in that. So I mean, you can easily understand that if I need to have 7 5 6 different systems to be implemented, that's a hell of a job, right? So it is like managing everything, buying license, that should be a very difficult job. But we don't need to go into there, we can simply buy one solution which takes care everything, and then we can simply work based on this year, right? So this is the concept of enterprise resource planning. What is there? So there are few advantages which I told you, right? Few advantages of this ERP. The main major two advantages which every company requires, those are, and every company whoever is implementing ERP, they need those things in their books. So those are basically accounting and reporting. So reporting, you can understand. So if you want to maintain reports, maybe finance team, they want to have a report that okay, one item I have sold to maybe some of the dealer, that item from which location it was produced, who has produced it, what was the components needed, Now I need 3 or 4 different information, and you can understand that if I want to get all those information, I am talking about 3 or 4 different systems or 3 or 4 different modules. If I have those data in 3 4 different systems, first I need to collect the data, then I need to do some work in Excel, and then I need to come to a report. But if I have an ERP system who is actually doing all these things on behalf of me without any labor, that is exactly what I want, right? And that is where the reporting capabilities comes in, and that is very important for the management. So we have capabilities in the Dynamics 365 ERP, what we call as reporting. In different sections we have SSRS report, we have standard inquiry based report, and right now Power BI report everyone using, and other for financial reporting we have a different system called management reporter. And those management reporter and everything, they take the data from across the system. You do not need to do anything, it is just that you need to say that okay, I need this much of data, and whoever is doing the development, or if there is an already report which is already there developed, they can simply go and create a report out of it. And the other thing is accounting is nothing but we always need, right, how much we have cost incurred for how many our items, what is my inventory balance, everything. So those are most related to finances, and that is one of the critical thing of the ERP. So every ERP has the accounting capabilities built in, and that is one of the most important thing that we are looking for. Now let me just quickly show you how the Dynamics 365 looks like. So I think I have seen that from the comments that some of you are already working as a D365 admin, and some of you have keep like technical background, so you know how the ERP looks like right now. But whoever doesn't know, let me just show you how the ERP looks like and what are the different modules what we have. I think that will give you a quick understanding. So this is how an ERP looks like. This is a demo environment what we have provided by Microsoft. And if you see just by looking into it, you can see different sections and all these things are there, right? Now if you come to the left hand side, you will see there is a section called modules, and if you go and scroll down it, you will see there is a hell lot of different modules are available. And if you just try to look into it, you will be easily get confused, you will not understand everything, right? But just from the part this is called finance and operations, right? So it is the ERP what we are talking about. So Microsoft calls it Dynamics 365 finance and operations. So basically this is used for managing my finance and operations. So broadly, all these modules, I'd say broadly again, because this is a very generic overview, these modules are basically categorized into two parts. One can be related to my finance and one can be operations. And the operations is a very vague term, I would say, because it contains different things. It contains my supply chain, my inventory management, procurement, everything. So if you just go back to this example, so what can be my operations? My operations can be my manufacturing facility, my procurement, inventory management, planning, everything can be my operations. And the dealer management system, marketing, finance can be a separate section which comes under finance, right? So again, as I was showing you, all these modules are actually being can be tagged to either finance and operations. So just take an example. So if you feel that one company that we have worked on, and I can give an example out of it, is what we call as a shopper stop, right? So if you go to any shopper stop store, you will see they have retail outlets, correct? And they have those point of sale machines. You go to the point of sale means the billing counters. So and you go, they scan the item, they give you the price, they sell you some gift card and all those things, right? And then you come home with the item. So what they are doing, they are actually managing retail stores, correct? And those retail stores, they have a separate functionality. Their store should be operational and live all the time. They are collecting the data from the customer, and from their end, they need very few information from your side, right? Maybe they need only the phone number from your side and name. That is the only thing they need, and and you are created as a customer, and then you start receiving SMS, other SMS related to the promotions and all those things, right? So they first need an retail system which handles all the retail operation, and then at the back end they will need their supply chain warehouse management, because they need to know like which product has the demand, which product is selling in which location. Maybe some clothes they have procured or they are selling is might be selling more in Hyderabad, and it is not the same in maybe Chennai. Correct, it can happen, right? Some cloth which has some color which is being very I mean easily getting sold in Hyderabad, not in Chennai. So what they do, do they go and again start manufacturing those clothes in Hyderabad? The answer is no. They can simply ship those items from the other locations, right? And all the companies, they cannot just have factories across India. They have factories in very few locations. They produce it and they just distribute it, and they have a good system in place which handles all their demand and supply combination. So they get the demand on a runtime basis. They know which product I need to sell and where it is selling. Based on that, they create or they do some transfers from one state to another, from one location to another. Right. So this is what happens when you talk about our Dynamics 365 B system. Now, I wanted to give you an example of this shopper stock, so you can understand what is the module they will be needing. They will be needing first this retail module, right? So maybe what is the retail? Yeah, so here we have the retail and commerce, right? So this is the first module they will be needing, and then they will be moving on having different sections, right? Maybe product information management is nothing but managing your products or items, so your clothes, different cosmetics, anything, right? And then you have the production control, then you have a payroll system, and then they have their inventory management, and then we move on to different sections of finances, which is from fixed asset, general ledger. We have cost management, cost accounting, all these different modules we have. And as I said, everything can be broadly categorized to either it has been linked to finance and it can be linked to operations. Now, when we define a system, or when we go and identify a company who is willing to implement Dynamics 365, we try to understand their business, right? What the business is about, right? And then we start our work. And now let us go and think of take an example, take a case study, and just try to understand. As a Dynamics 365, if you are learning as a technical thing, where does you come in? What is your role in the project, and how the project life cycle works in this Dynamics 365 cycle? Now, let us take an example, and let's say there is a company which is maybe
Hi,
let's say,
hi, Maitra. Sorry to interrupt you in between. Okay.
go
Hello.
ahead.
Yeah. I just want to ask. I want to leave this meeting due to some emergency. So I just want to ask. See, I'm working as a functional consultant, and I have a 4 year experience with the .NET development also. So why I joined on this means I want to learn more about the technical part of the Dynamics 365. Yeah.
Hmm.
So what are the prerequisites required for the development server? So ideally, we have a three servers, right? One is the development server, and one is the UAT server, one is the production server, right? When I am implementing Dynamics 365 into my organization, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So we have a technical internal technical developers. So if you want to procure the development server, what could be the prerequisites?
For practice purposes, I hope you are talking about practice purpose. So for practice purposes, we have option of either using an online VM which is free of cost, provided by Microsoft, which you can use for 2 hours at a stretch. That is one option we have. And if you want to, the other option what we have is establishing a local virtual machine in your own laptop. That is another option what we have. And for that
Okay.
we have few prerequisites. The first is you should have at least 16 GB of RAM in your laptop, at least
Uh,
at least 120 GB of hard disk space. And the third is you should have a Windows Professional or Enterprise license.
okay. Okay. So in case if we don't have, see, I'm planning to go ahead with this technical training. So in case if we don't have, can you able to provide this with charge, some charge? If I pay something, then you can able to provide this.
Uh, for if you're asking me, how can I? Okay, see, you must have a laptop, right? So in that laptop, how many RAMs you have and how many I do not know about it. I
No,
told you
no.
the specification.
Okay.
You
If I
can
have
go and
this prerequisites, you can able to give the Visual Studio license and all we required, right?
no, Visual Studio license. Whenever we are creating a Dynamics 365 environment, we'll have to create a Visual Studio license, and then only we can go and work and download the VM itself. That I will show in the course when we start the course.
Okay.
And that will be a trial license that will be active for 30 days. Once it is expired, you can go and create another license and you can start work on it, right? If you want to straight away start using Dynamics 365 by paying money, by paying some amount and start learning, there is another way. So you can just go buy a visual license, Dynamics 365 license for maybe student license for 1 year or something. That will Microsoft will charge you some dollars for that, and based on that you will have an access to an environment. That process I don't show in the training because I mean, for understanding, you know that all of you will not be able to maybe start paying from the day one, and it is not recommended also because the course duration, in that course duration we can use either a local VM which we can install free of cost, or other rather we can use a online virtual machine which again we can use for free of cost. So
So
those are
during the
the
course,
ways.
you will provide as a practical training, right? So I mean, so we
Yes,
can log
practical.
into the, yeah, so we can log into the virtual machine and we can create our own codes, right? Our own.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. And
As I
see,
said, that again, as I said, that we can do again with the two options which I told you, and again
uh,
those two options will be free of cost.
okay. See, and one more doubt, see, I have a one development server, so I have done some coding. So how I can, so do I need to merge this code to move to the UAT, or how
Yes.
I need a separate
So
server for this, or
yes, yes.
VFS?
No, no, we don't need that. We can simply, once we start our development journey, I will show you that how we can just create the code. We can go and create our code, create a deployment package out of it, and send it to the UAT environment. Okay, so that process we will learn. We do not need anything else for that.
So in case I have a multiple development server, so how
Then
the
we have
multiple development?
then yes, then we have the concept of DevOps comes in. So from the DevOps we can have the code uh, check-ins and latest all
Uh,
the pipelines we can build, and we can do the development. The trial license what we have, it will not give you an access for UAT and production. We'll
uh,
see that how we can create a package and how we can go and simply uh, build the package and move that package to our different environment, UAT and production. I will tell you the process for that.
okay, and during the training you will teach us this one SSRS report as well.
Yes, I'll definitely give you training on SSRS report.
Okay. Thank you so much, Venkat. So I already
So,
shared my number with you, so you can contact me. I do
yeah,
some
yeah. So
emergency. I
just
have to leave.
Yeah, just share the contact. Yeah, I think that's a good point. So I think the Visualpath admin is also there. Just share your contact in the chat window, email
Ah,
IDs and phone numbers. They will be contacting you going forward with all the timings and course details and everything, right? And
okay,
if we do not have any other question, Jason, we can just continue with the session. I take maybe 15, 20 more minutes, and then we can have a quick Q&A. So all of you, whoever has some questions, just hold on to it for maybe 10 15 more minutes, and then we can take all the questions and I can just give you all the answers, because I definitely like to take all the questions, because you should have a clear understanding what you are getting into, right? So just start, we'll just continue on the demo, and then I will have the Q&A with all of you. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Okay, so I'll just quickly give you a brief idea on the product project life cycle. So how the project works. So whenever we define, if we take a case study of any Dynamics 365 project, right? So we first identify, let's say this retail company, right, which I talk about. We first identify what is the project and the business is about. So we understand this is a retail business and they will need some retail system to be implemented. Now, if they want, you are using Dynamics 365, they have bought the license and everything. So we go to them and we first do what we call as a requirement gathering. So that is the first step. What we has is called requirement analysis, right? Requirement gathering and analysis. And I'll tell you who is responsible for that also. And once we go, requirement analysis is nothing but just to understand their business, so how they are doing their operations on a day-to-day basis. We will go and talk to each one of their key stakeholders. So maybe some of them will be managing their procurement operations, some of them will be retail operations, some finance, right? We'll talk to each one of them and understand how they are handling their business, right? That is the first step, very basic step, and that is one of the most crucial steps. Then the step comes in, which is our, once we are done with this, we understand what we call as gap fit analysis. And then I will say that we have the design phase or functional design documents. Okay. So what do we mean by that? So once we have understood their business, so and then we have to understand how we can map this thing in the dynamics. So let's say they are managing their retail operations in one way, right? And Dynamics 365 already has a retail module which is there, and they can simply and any company which wants to use Dynamics, they can simply start using it. There's no, you have just to load your data and you can start using it, okay, for the retail module. You cannot, don't need anything else. So if we understand, okay, they have in the retail process, they have five different ways of doing operations, and in Dynamics it provides three different ways. So once they have procured the license, so should we go and tell them, okay, see, Dynamics provides only three different ways of doing the operations. You should stick to that process. You should not to go and use the five process. Is that what they are looking for? The answer is no. What they are looking for is incorporate all the modules, all the different ways of operations into Dynamics 365, and that is where this gap fit analysis comes in, that you understand, okay, this is how their business is operating with five different operation ways, and Dynamics provide three different operations ways. So I have a gap of two operational activities maybe, and then I understand, okay, when I understood there is a gap, I need to find out how do I feed that into the Dynamics product itself, because I have the three operational ways already built in. I do not need to change them, but I need to incorporate those, the other two part. And then I go and do this gap fit analysis, and I understand that, okay, these are the ways that I need to build in. And then the process of functional design document comes in, and where I go and simply write everything that I just, what is the business understanding, what is the gap which has been identified, and how do I design that in the product. So those two operational ways I need to incorporate in Dynamics 365 product, and then in that functional design document I tell them, okay, this is the way that I am going to do. Similarly, let's say for a purchasing company, you might have three different purchasing process, and the Dynamics provide two ways. So you have a gap of one different way, and that you need to bring into Dynamics, and you have to write with your product knowledge. And here there the knowledge of product comes in. That means you first have a good understanding on the business process or the requirement what the client has, and then you should have a knowledge of Dynamics 365 as a product, what it can offer, right? Once you know that it offers those steps, you will be in a good position to identify the gaps and then design the solution in that way, right? That is a good part. And then once you have done that, then the comes part of technical design, or what we call as technical design document. And then we have our development work, unit testing, and then we have our functional testing, and then we have the completion of UAT, and then go live. And there can be other steps also in the middle, based on different companies that I'm not. This is from the broad overview, right? But these are the steps what we have. So what do we come in as a technical developer? So requirement gathering, gap fit analysis, all these are done by your the what we call as functional consultant. This is also a functional consultant, or what we call as business consultant, or business analyst roles in some companies, right? This is all done by the functional consultant, because for this you should have a good understanding of the businesses, right? And then you should have a good understanding of the product also, what it can offer, and that is these two are the most critical phases of the project, I would say, based on my experience. Because if you have a do not have knowledge on the requirement gathering, if you do not know what gaps is there, if you do not understand the business, definitely you cannot make a good functional design, or rather you are doing the solutioning of the company, right? You cannot do a right solutioning, and that has all the downstream impact till the point of go live. I mean, it will not go till go live. Before UAT, it will fail, because it will have different consequences in different steps. Because if you have done a wrong solutioning, your technical design document will be wrong, your development will be wrong, your testing will get failed, and it will definitely not clear the UAT phase with the users, right? So here the technical design document, the technical developer, technical consultant, or I would say technical solution architect, right? I'm just writing in the short form, technical solution architect. And in the development work, then the developers comes, right? And this is where as a junior developer you will fit in, you will do the development work, do the unit testing also, right? And also the functional testing, again the role of functional consultant. So this is where you come in as a junior developer, or whoever is being started fresh. Once you gain experience, you go as a solution architect, or a technical consultant, or like a solution architect. And also in the function, in a few cases, in the functional design document, also the technical consultant can take part in, because if you go and progress in your career, you will have a good understanding of the business requirement, and then you can take part in that, right? So this is how the project life cycle works. So I hope this is clear. So what is ERP? Where do we fit in as a developer, or as a solution architect, or as a I mean, in the project lifecycle, what is our role, right? This is our role completely. Just to give you a broad overview. Now coming back to the slides, so I'll quickly go through them. And we have Dynamics 365 as the ERP I told you. So this was actually launched in 2017, what we call as an AX7. It was called in AX7. AX means Axapta, the name of the older version of the ERP, and it was loaded. I mean, created in cloud, and then onwards, I think from 2017 onwards, it was called Dynamics 365. And right now, if you go and see Dynamics 365, it has different applications. It has Dynamics 365 for sales, which is the CRM application. uh, we have Dynamics 365 for finance and operations, which is a ERP application, and which we are learning. And we have Dynamics 365 Power Platform, which is for Power Automate, Power BI, Power Objects. So different applications we have, right?
Hey, Maitra,
Now
can I
coming
ask you a
to the
question?
technology. So yeah,
Yeah. Can you go to the
go ahead.
back to that one slide you had where it was right? You had the technical analyst, the functional analyst, and all the different roles. I have a question there, just a basic question. You know that Word document? Yeah. So you said which role is important, the technical design, or you said the fit gap analysis? Like if that is not done,
I
which one
said,
was not done? Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I said the most important phase, or just at the start, project starts with the requirement analysis and the gap fit analysis. So these two are very critical, just to
Okay.
lay the strong foundation. If these two are wrong, if you do not have a good understanding on the requirement, then rest of the phases will definitely suffer, and you have to do the redesign and all these things. So these two are
Okay.
from the
Yeah.
starting point. So basically it's like building a house, right? You have to good lay a strong foundation, and these two are the most critical things.
Okay. Got it.
Now
Thanks.
coming back to it, so yeah, so coming back to it, so we have this different ERP what we have, and I mean in world, if you go, there are three leading ERP enterprise resource application. One is SAP or SAP, what we call, and that is the most commonly used, and that is the largest ERP. Then we have Oracle and Microsoft Dynamics. So previously Dynamics was not a I would say cloud application. See, these two versions, these are the two oldest version, and then we had other old version also, 2009 and 2012. What then it was called as Dynamics AX, and right now it is called Finance and Operation, and it is hosted in cloud. And I'll just consider this 2012. So this is the latest version, and it is still in use. And this 2009 is not in use anymore. There are companies who uses that, but they are all migrating to Dynamics 365 and operations. So 2012, so this was a Windows application, and right now we have the cloud application. So Windows application means it is just like any software you go and download. So you have to have your servers, your RAM, everything maintained. You have to set up a computer, and then you have to go and install the application, as like how we do a software installation, right? We go to the slide portal, we go download, it opens up as a exe file, we go and run as administrator, and we set up, right? So it consumes memory in your laptop, and then you run it, right? So exactly this is what used to happen in the older versions when it was in Windows based application. And easily you can understand that that has a lot of dependency on the internal IT team, because they have to maintain the storage and everything. See, you can understand, right? So if there are maybe 500 users in your company, and they are all using the ERP application, and after 2 years there are 2000 more employees, so will the same specification, same RAM, same memory allocation will work? As clearly no, right? Because you have 2000 more users, so you have to scale it up. You have to increase memory, you have to increase the code and everything, right? So for that we have a lot of dependency in that, and right now with cloud we do not have those dependency. We can simply go by a subscription of the number of users we are paying. We can tell Microsoft, okay, maybe we have a 500, 200, 2000 users, and then it is Microsoft job to maintain the VM, Microsoft job to maintain everything, and you can simply go and start using it. You do not have any headache on it. You do not have the headache of installation, maintaining the servers, nothing. So that is a core concept of cloud. And from the technology platform itself, if something is not making sense, maybe SSA, SSRS was not familiar with these terms, it is fine, we will be learning them in our course. So the reporting capabilities has been improved in the way that we have the integrated Power BI also, and also in Dynamics 365 we have mobile capabilities, where we can go and have like big native mobile capabilities, where you can go build small applications for each of the different sections, which was previously not there for all the modules. For few of the modules, for the few different section we had. So this is from the Dynamics technology platform. And I mean scalability, reporting capabilities has improved much more. Our integration capabilities also has improved much more, because we are using the same platform as the Visual Studio. So the development workspace is Visual Studio, but the language is not C sharp. It is called X++. X is short synonym for Xerox. X is zero for Xerox, and it's called X++. That is the coding language for Dynamics 365. And if you have a small knowledge of any object-oriented programming, then you are good to go. This is exactly is the similar to any object-oriented program. If you know SQL, C sharp, it will be very easy for you to pick up. If you do not know also, then also it is good, but you have to just spend some more time on it, because I'll be sharing few reading materials what you can learn, and then based on that you can pick up, and then you can just learn on it, right? So it is not any the like rocket science or what we are building here. Now coming back to from the functional platform, so we have this Dynamics 365 has the workflow organizational modeling mostly remains safe. So, and these workflow engines and all these things remain same. And then we have our finance and compliance, all these things also built in, right? So this part from the finance, from the functional part, so this remains. I'd say 70-80% similar to the older versions, but right now again Microsoft has built in a lot of different capabilities for lot of different countries and everything. So that's a huge ERP. We can learn so many different things, right? And security and all those things we'll be covering once we go and discuss or on the more on the, because I'm not stressing more on the different capabilities here, because yeah, if I start doing it, it will be not easy for you to understand on the very first day itself. It is not just I can just give you some lectures and you will start understanding. It's not like that, but I just want to give you an overall understanding what you can expect from Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations as a product. Yeah, one good thing from D365 Finance and Operations architecture, which we'll again learn, is that this it's an one single sign-on process which enables you to use all the applications that we'll learn more. So it is that if you have a Microsoft Office account, which you have, maybe you are using Outlook email or Teams, right? So you can use the same account and go and use the Dynamics 365 application after you buy the license, obviously, and use the DevOps or lifecycle services, all these things. So we'll discuss on this more, but this is one has been improvement in the Dynamics 365 life cycle, that single sign-on process has been included, right? Now, the advantages which I've told you, the storage, customization, power apps, mobile access, all these are different customizations will be what we have, and that has been definitely a good, great advantage for, excuse me, for the ERP. So because we have multiple integrations can be done, LCS and all this .NET development access, everything is there. So if you, and also the good part is as the development workspace is in Visual Studio, you can simply, for integrations, you can simply create a web service through .NET and directly connect to Dynamics. It is not that you have to create a .NET project again, then again bring that project to in the older version and then again connect. So that was a long process. We do not have those processes anymore. It's the same development environment. You can create a Dynamics 365 project also and a .NET development project also. So that's like an integration inbuilt. So that's a very good feature what we have. Now, what's new? I think, yeah, cloud-hosted environment, the layered architecture, and all these things we'll learn. And what is the different method of doing development? This is that over learning extension. We'll be learning those extensively, and we have the packages, web services, and all the other different things, right? So and this is more from the development side. Once we go deep into the development, we'll learn more on that, right? So this is from the Dynamics 365 overall as a program and how what we can learn. Just quickly stop the share, and before starting on the Q&A, I'll just quickly highlight that the course our focus will be to learn the Dynamics 365 ERP itself. The technical part will not be covering all the functional modules. That is not the agenda of the course. We'll be covering all the technical part. We'll start from the very basic to we'll go to the start with the data type, then we'll go to the data structure, and then we'll be going on to the different sections of Dynamics 365, and then we'll be quickly moving on to the advanced topics where we will learn the SSRS report, where we can learn different integrations, web services, we'll learn the data management, workflow. So those are advanced topics. So I'll keep you like we'll when we go and have the sessions, you will get to know the schedule, what we have and how we are planning the sessions. And usually we have a session every day in the week over the weekdays only. So over the weekends I do not have the classes, I give a break. And because we all need a break, right? So for that we are just having the sessions 5 days per week, 1 hour each day. If I'm missing out on a class, and if we are having some break, Diwali festival and other things, so we can have those sessions later. And sometimes I take sessions over the weekdays if we are having not having or missed out on too many sessions. So that is from the course point of view. And generally the timings, as I will be discussing on the timings, but the course duration is mostly around I'd say 1 and 1.5 months. We have around 25-30 sessions. It can go more than that. And I will, once we start, I will ask all of you to share your email ID, because I keep on sending emails on the practice exercises. So because once we start at a reach at a certain point where I can send you exercises and what you can also work on, and that we discuss in the classes also. Okay, so I have at least 10-12 different exercises which I keep on sending to you, and I hope you will all be working on that. And if you have any doubts, you can definitely will be in touch always, right? So once we are into the session, we can connect and we can share our email IDs, and I'll also be sharing my email ID contact numbers, and we can definitely work on the different communication channels what we have, right? So I'll be open for Q&A now, so just go ahead, and whatever questions you have, you can go ahead and ask me.
So Mitra, this is Leo. I have a couple of questions I want to ask more later, but when you take these sessions, right, are you only going to teach us the FNO, the new development techniques, or you want to go to do the AX version too?
We'll be focusing on Dynamics 365 technical part. I will not be, so if you are talking about going into the older version X 2012, we cannot train you on that, because that is not available for any demo or something. Microsoft has stopped selling that product itself. But just to give you understanding, so both the products are same. So if you know the development in AX 2012, you will be able to work in Dynamics 365, because the coding language and everything is same. In the older version also the coding language is same, just that few tricks you need to know, because the structure has been completely changed. Those extension overlaying has come in. And similarly, if you know Dynamics 365, you can also start your work on X2012. But again, something which was not which is available in Dynamics 365 is not available in X2012.
Yeah, yes. So I know I'm being selfish on my part, right? I'm only interested in the newer version, right? Because my company is going FNO and forward, so I'm okay if I
Yes,
don't
you will
learn
be.
that. Yeah. So
Yeah, you
okay.
will be learning on the newer version only. Yes.
Okay. And one more question, at some point, right, would you be teaching us about the debugging of applications, right? When you have problems and all, right? Uh, it could be a bad job, it could be interactive job, whatever, right? Then would you going through the debugging part also, like how to debug
Yeah,
and
yeah, batch of different classes will learn, and yes, debugging we'll see, like how we can enable the debugger, and we can see the debugging. Yes.
okay. I'll let other people ask. I have other questions, but I'm sure they have there too. So,
Yeah, Maitra, Rakesh here. So we are also learning workflow developments also, right?
Yes, I'll teach you on the custom workflow development from scratch, new workflow development. Yes.
Okay. And what about Power BI? Are you going through the Power BI also?
Power BI, see what happens. Power BI, you have to install that Power BI, and then you have to do the connection and everything. So some of you will not be have the VM, maybe learning from the online VM. So installing, I can just guide you how to do the installation, and then we can learn on the. I can give you some small examples, but not extensively. The Power BI, I can give you like that point. Like I'll show you how to connect to it. What are the steps, because that is itself is not exactly inbuilt in Dynamics. You have the reports, but it is not that with Dynamics. it comes as a free. So if you want to deploy Python Power BI reports, you have to buy a separate license and you have to build the reports and then you have to run it. So yeah, I'll give you guys guide it like how we can do a development, but not extensively in the course. Yes.
Okay. And for development of workspaces in D365,
Yes, yes. We will learn the development, like completely hands-on development in this 65 workspace itself. Yes.
okay, okay, thank you.
Hi sir, this is Shekhar. Sir, I'm bothered about debugging, sir. Do we have any separate session for debugging?
Separate session for debugging. Oh, yeah, I will definitely learn on the debugging part. Yes. I mean, not separate session, but once we
Uh,
start learning on the code, we move on to the different, like learn how to write a class and everything. Then we'll start on the debugging session. Yes.
so exactly how to debug and how to find out the bugs. So from the back end, how to run. That's a major part, the major issue for me.
Yes, you will definitely will learn, but on that part you have to also stress from yourself also, because the older version had, you have the complete access, but right now you don't have the like the development access what you used to have. So yeah, we'll talk about that in the class.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Mitra, one more question. Do we need SQL Server also here, right? We'll have access to SQL.
Yes, you will have access to SQL
So in the same session, we'll have everything in one
development
go.
server.
Okay,
Yes, only no, I'll not teach you on the SQL part, like, but you will have the access for SQL server only in the development space, but in the UAT and production, just for your information, we do not have access for SQL. So it is just only the development environment you have an access for SQL. And in
okay,
our development workspace, we will have the access for SQL.
yeah, done.
Hi, this is Shabir. I came late. Just I want to know that actually the technical will be cover all the models or only financial only?
Yeah, this course is for Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations Technical. So we'll be covering the technical aspect of the ERP, which is Finance and Operations.
That means all the models, right? That means the technical will be all the models, not only the financial and
Yes.
only the financial model.
No, no. Yes, yes. Only for the, yes, for all the models mean for, I mean, see, for finance and operations for the ERP, there is like development. We do not segregate between the all the models. It is just only one development space and where we can go and do our work.
And that means it will be
Yeah,
the
and
payroll
that,
and everything. Is there any issues? We
yeah,
can go
yes,
for the payroll, for financial, for everything, right?
yes, 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 correct.
So just one more question. So actually, what is the difference between financial and technical? Because I came late. This is the questions I have in my mind. Just can you clarify? Sometimes they are going financial, functional for only financial. So what is the technical and functional? The people are moving, Just I want to know that.
Yeah, yeah, just to give you a quick understanding, Shavit, so it is like once you start a project, though the project has different phases, and we start with understanding the client business, then we move on to do the solutioning of the project, and then we move on to the technical design and the development work. So the first few phases where you go understand the business, do the solutioning of the project, you would need to have a good business understanding and also have a good product knowledge over you, so what the product can offer. So for that we need the functional consultant what we have, and who are rather the business consultant who have a knowledge on the business also and the product also, who can do the solutioning. Once they have done that, then the technical consultant or the developers come in, they can start doing the customization development, and then we can do the complete project testing and complete go live and everything. So this is where the segregation comes in. So it starts with the functional consultant where they will go ahead, do the requirement, the solutioning of the project, and then the technical consultant and developers come in.
Okay, so that means X++ is the language we are going to use, right? This is for the object oriented, which one you mentioned the previously. But
Yeah,
what about the data integration? You have seen the one slide, first slide, but I don't know that. But the integration for the .NET also we
yeah,
have. That is the only for
yeah.
integration
We
for
have
the yeah.
we have the website which we can connect to Dynamics 365, and I'll show you that in the training also. So we can create a small web service from like and consume the data and see how it is going on. So it is like see all the web services are available in over internet. We can pick any one of them and just create a web service in create an application in .NET, and then we can see how it is connecting with Dynamics 365.
That means we need .NET any experience because I'm basically from Oracle background for the Oracle forms and
Not
reports.
not much, not
Yes.
much. If you have a development experience or like the object-oriented programming logic, that is enough. No, nothing else is required.
Okay. Good. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Hello, Maitra. George here.
Yes, hi.
I would like to know, as per my understanding, these sessions will be recorded and it will be provided to us. And will it be constrained for some time, or we have unlimited access like that?
No, you will have the access for the sessions. When you subscribe for the course, you will have a few free sessions. I believe you can just get the actual numbers from the Visualpath team, and yeah, after that you will have once we like daily sessions will be recorded, and you can log into the portal and you can access it anytime.
All right, thank you.
But how long will the session be available if they are recorded?
That you just need to confirm from the Visualpath team actually, because we have the like the sessions on the portal, and then we have to go and see like how much time. I think maybe 6 months or maybe a year. I'm not
Oh,
exactly sure on the time, but the Visualpath team can confirm you on that.
but yeah, as long as it's more than 2 months, right, is fine. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, I think if you are good,
So,
so we can just have.
so Mitra, I have a
Yeah.
couple other questions. You know, in the typical sessions, right, how many people will be there in the session?
Honestly, I'll be expecting all of you. So if you have maybe 10, 15 members are there, we can expect all of you. There can be days there when maybe 50, 60% of your joining. So typically batch strength can be 12 to 15 members or maybe 10 members for some days. And you see if you have the option of going and seeing the recording. Some days if you're missing out on the class, you know that the recording will be there. You can go and see it to it. But I would prefer everyone to join and take part in the session so that you can just have the understanding clearly.
Oh, no, yeah, yeah. What I was asking, right, indirectly was, is there a max limit of how many people can get in? Because right now in this group right now, right, I think we have 14 people, right? So is
I'm
the
not
group?
sure if there is batch. No, I'm not sure. I have taken batch size of like 15 members also, 9 members also, 10, 12, 5 members also have taken. I don't think there is a batch trend, but yeah, maybe 10 to 15 maximum we can expect. Yeah.
Okay, oh, okay. So that's the 15. Okay. So, okay. Mm, is there any reference material other than the recording that we can
So there
refer
are some
to, right?
Microsoft links I'll be sharing to you as a learning thing, and I'll be also sharing a few of the documents which I have prepared for the training for a few of the SSRS report, workflows, all those things. I'll be sharing those documents, yes. And yeah, I'll be keeping on sending giving you Microsoft links also for learning.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to say that, suppose I am the weakest link in this whole group, right? Who's like lagging behind, right? Is there a way, right? You're going to keep moving with your sessions, right? Is there a way, right? I can reach out to somebody, right? So I can keep catching up,
Yeah,
right?
you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me also. So if you are missing out on something, if you do not understand something, yeah, definitely you can reach out to me.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about myself, right? I'm not an object-oriented programming person, right? I long back I did Java programming. So how difficult will it be for me, right? Who knows the concept of object-oriented programming, but when we go to X++ programming, right? How
It will
tricky
not
would
be
be
difficult. It
for
will
me
not.
to.
No, it will not be difficult. If you understand the core concept, that is what we need, because we are not here to learn the syntaxes of the X++ and everything, because that you can learn from Google. We are here to learn that whenever there is a problem statement, how you approach that problem statement,
Mhm.
where to write the code and how to write the code. So if I just ask you, okay, these are the syntaxes in X++, this is how you go and write this statement. This is you can simply get from Google also. This is not, I mean, I cannot share knowledge on that. I can share my knowledge on how we can do a solutioning, how we can approach a problem, what are the steps that we need to look for, what exactly, how to find that where to write the code, right? So that was one most critical part, the where to write the code, which is the correct place to write the code. Because once I show you the application, you will understand exactly what I mean, because there's a lot of different places, lot of different objects are there. You will be perplexed to know that okay, this is so big and is so huge, so you will not be able to understand. So this is the methodical way of finding out where to write the code and how to write the code. Then there are ways of finding just to write the code, so that is the secondary part. Okay, I
Okay,
hope that
okay.
is clear.
No, no, it's very clear. So
Yeah,
another question, Mitra, about this is right. I'm going to now go deeper, right? So example, right? So now we are in the programming, right, where we need to upload, right, some sales order into FNO, right? Okay, so probably, right, we may have to call a certain, right, functions in FNO, right, to say, well, these are my Excel rows or XML rows or whatever the rows are, right, which are uploaded by the business. I need to create a sales order. Like those kind of business logic, right, of what you know procedures I need to call to create a sales order, or do the invoicing, or I do inventory
yes,
transaction.
yes,
So
we'll see those part, like how we can approach a transaction, how to create a transaction, how to delete one. We'll see those things. Yes.
okay, so those kind of knowledge we would be acquiring in this class, right?
Yeah, I'll be definitely sharing few of them. Yes.
Okay. I think I had something, but I can keep somebody else can ask.
Maitra, two more questions. One is for integration outline. So are you going to discuss those?
Yes, yes, I'll discuss on the integration. So as I explained, right? So we'll have a small integration for maybe from web service to like from the web service to Dynamics, how we can consume the data. We'll see those examples and we'll discuss on the OData also briefly. Yes.
Okay. And we get a recording of this session?
The demo session,
No, no,
I'm not
recording of this.
exactly sure.
Yeah, demo session, this one.
Demo, I'm not exactly sure on that. We can just connect to Visualpath, but yeah, regular sessions will be recorded daily. But demo session, I'm not sure. You can just talk to the Visualpath team actually on that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Regarding the timing, batch time, just wanted to confirm. So I hope this will be a morning class, and we can have from 9 to 10 a.m. So that will be the timing. So I hope everyone is fine with the timing. So we can have the session from morning 9 to 10.
So 9 to time, you India time, right?
Yes, yes, IST time. So some of you, are you just joining from outside of India? So do you have like any other preferred timing, anything?
No, I like this time because this is the time, right? It's a night for me, so it works better for me. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, okay. So we'll be joining from like 9 to 10. That will be the timing of the classes. So yeah, I hope the timing is good. If it is not, you can just connect to the visual part team. If all of you are not agreeing on the timing, I will get to know and we can just reschedule time. But as of now, we can have the session from 9 to 10 a.m. in the morning time.
So Mitra, typically, right, the sessions, right, are for 5 days, right, Monday to Friday. Like, if you change something, would you tell us, right, a week before, or when would we
Yes,
know?
not week before, because I don't. If I have a long break or something, definitely I'll be telling a week before. But if I'm just missing out on some class due to some urgent issues or something, that I will tell you before maybe few hours or something, because we must have a WhatsApp group or something, because that with the Visual Path team actually maintains that, and we'll be all connecting over that. So I'll keep on sending messages. So yeah, if I'm missing out on my class, if I'm some stuck in some work or something, definitely I'll let you know, all of you.
Hi Mitra, when it will be started classes for the technical? Because I'm from Kuwait. It's actually 9 o'clock means in India time. Here 6:30 a.m. So there is no issues the timing. Just I want to know when it will be started the classes.
Yeah, so I think maybe few days after the demo. So I think I just need to confirm the timing and everything with the Visualpath team, and they will be in touch with you. Maybe after the demo, we just start within a week, maximum within a week. Yeah.
Yes, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, I think we are all good. So I hope you have gained some experience from the demo, and that was helpful. And we had a good batch, I believe. So if we feel that if you're interested in the batch, you can just always get in touch with the visual part time, and we can have the session started maybe next week or maybe end of early next week. So hope to see you soon in the batches, and we'll be connecting again with when we
Hey,
start the
hey,
batch. So.
hey, Mitra, can I ask you one last question? You know, are
Yeah, sure,
you
please go
going to
ahead.
cover anything about LCS?
Yes,
Like, any issues related to LCS, like when you are in a
I'll
production
show you
environment,
how to access LCS and everything. I'll show you those things also,
like
but not like a
SQL
client
issues.
LCS. Yeah, yeah, I'll try to show you. Yeah, but whatever basic LCS knowledge, I'll definitely give it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, typically what I'm looking for is like from a developer's point of view, right? Oh, I have this process running very slow. How do I check that? Oh, I have this a problem in this other thing, right? Where uh, this aborted, right? And how do I figure that? Anything with LCS for production support.
That I mean, basic LCS knowledge definitely I'm giving you, but for production support LCS I cannot show you, because we do not have a production environment. Because I mean, you know that we need a license for that. We cannot show you, but
Right.
basic is LCS knowledge. Where do I get to see the LCS and everything? I can definitely give you knowledge, but not from the production support side. I cannot. I can tell you like how to connect to LCS and what things to look
Mhm.
for, but I cannot show you in the live demo, because I cannot just open a client environment and show it to you. That is not permissible. But yes, definitely I can tell you what you can expect.
Oh, so only question I'll have is, right, uh, beyond this course, right, can I ask you questions, right, related to this, and I can go beyond this course, right, and I can reach out to you saying, hey, I have this problem, right, how would you figure out in LCS, I'm just looking at
Yeah,
for different, yeah, beyond this course, right, yeah, I'm okay to pay more, right, for this, but I'm okay as long as I'm learning for how to deal with other issues with production environment.
yeah, definitely we can learn on that. Yeah, I mean we can just connect later and we can discuss on that. But yeah, just from the trial version itself, we cannot just show you the production environment issues. But yeah, definitely we can have like sessions on that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mitra. Thanks.
Yeah, everyone, please drop your email ID and phone number to the chat. I hope everyone has done, so that the visual part team can connect to you. Okay, I think that we can conclude the session, and thanks everyone for joining in. As I said, we'll be seeing you soon in the actual classes once we start, and I'll just plan it out how we are going to have the sessions and everything. So as of now, we have discussed on the timing and the course duration, everything. So if you're good, we'll conclude the session, and just go in touch with the Visualpath team. They will be commenting on the timings and confirming on the batch schedule and the links and everything. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. Have a good day. We'll connect in the actual sessions. Thank you. Thanks everyone.